Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome all of you for the online satsang of the Sathya Center of Arcadia. We are doing these study guides on happiness because the theme for the birthday celebrations this year, which we are going to have online, is happiness is union with God. Swami has said this in many times in his divine discourses, in his private interviews with people. So we look for happiness outside, but is with us when you are united with God. So we should have a clear a definition. What is happiness? Even in dream we should say happiness is union with God. So then we talked about what is this happiness, and at least even though we may not remember all the quotes, at least we should remember the stories. That is why we put stories for each guide. So to recapitulate, we have 6 study guides. They will all be available on our website. And the first study guide is the what is happiness. We have the story of Bhrigu and Varuna. The Bhrigu is the one who wants to know what is bliss. First we have to make sure happiness is union with God. The name of God, Satchit Ananda. The Ananda is there. That is the definition of divinity. Knowledge, existence, and bliss. So we are the embodiment of bliss, Ananda. So that we should know there is nothing different. We have to remove the something which blocks us to experience that Ananda. That's all. So we are Ananda Swarupa. That is why Swami said we are. He sang even the song, bliss is my food. So we are all Ananda Swarupas, but we forgot that. So that is why this young man who is a spiritual seeker representing us, he is in search of happiness. He finds, where is this happiness? First he thinks, oh, it is in Annamaya Kosha, in my body sheath. We all can relate to the body. But nice bodily enjoyment, good food, and nice music, or nice entertainment. So think at the level of the body. Then he thought it's not there. Then he says it is level of the pranamaya kosha, next level, vital air. No, it is not there either. So he go on going inwards. Then he goes to manomaya kosha, the mental sheath, the mind sheath, because mind is the one, even though physically we may be strong, sometimes our mind is agitated or disturbed. So we won't be able to even enjoy the physical enjoyments. So mind is responsible for our sorrow and happiness. So he says it could be the mind. So he goes to mind sheath and tells his father, Varuna, is mind sheath? No, it is wrong. Then he further goes in. Then he goes to Vijnanamaya sheath, which is the sheath of intellect, discrimination. So it is not even there. And finally, when he transcends all these 4 koshas, Annamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, and Vijnanamaya kosha, then you come in contact with the Anandamaya Kosha. So we should clearly understand it is a inward path. Sadhana is inward path. And there should be difference between pleasure and happiness. Pleasure is interval between two pains. So it will be here today and tomorrow gone, worldly pleasures. Good food for a couple of minutes or hour you enjoy, and then again next time you have to think about it. Some nice music, all these are pleasures, but they are glimpses of the supreme bliss, which is called Brahmananda. That also we talked in our previous discussions. People who remember, it is 10 to the power of 15 of Manushyananda. We said, what is Manushyananda? Hope you remember. A young man who is physically strong, very bright intellectually, very handsome, and very wealthy, and he has a good character, and is scholarly. So everything he has got, whatever anybody wants to have. So physically strong, beautiful, intellectually bright, very wealthy, and he has good character and good reputation. What else you want? He has everything. That is called one unit of Ananda. And this Brahmananda is 10 to the 15 because there are gradations. After that comes the Gandharvananda, Deva Gandharvananda, Pitru Ananda. Each one is 100 times more than the unit of that. 100 times more is Gandharva, then Deva Gandharva, then Pitru Ananda, Devananda, then Bruhaspati Ananda, then Pajapati Ananda, ultimately Brahmananda. So whenever we eat nice gulab jam or kulfi or have a nice, oh, I have in Brahmananda. So don't underestimate Brahmananda. We cannot use Brahma. This is even 1 millionth part of real Brahmananda. Because Brahmananda, according to Taittiriya Upanishad, is yato vacho nivartante aprapyamana. Something which cannot be expressed in words and something which cannot be comprehended by the mind. It is something to be experienced, not expressed. So that is why these people, when they ultimately experience the highest bliss, they become silent. Just you can see their face will be radiating with that bliss and joy. You cannot express. So that is what his happiness is. Then next we said, where is happiness? Okay, we know what is happiness. Where is it? That guy said, you go inward, inward. So we gave the story of Tyagaraja. At least that's why I'm telling each time, remember the story of Bhrigu for the first one. Second one, Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja is the great devotee of Lord Rama, and because of his excellence in music, so the king was pleased, so he offered him a good job in the royal court, being a singer and a lot of wealth and gifts. So like that you can imagine, compared to us, somebody wants a good job, don't worry about Swami's work, just take a good job, will give you a nice promotion, good recognition, give you this title, power. You want to have that? Or you want to be with God? Like even some of the students who have working in Prashanti Nilayam, some of the faculty in the university, they could get very lucrative jobs, high-paying jobs in the corporate world. But they chose to serve Swami. Similarly, a lot of senior devotees I know, like one example is Mr. Chakravarti. He was IAS officer and he could be the highest level in the Indian government. But at a young age, in 40s, he decided to quit and come and serve Swami. Like that, you choose God versus the worldly position, prosperity. Whereas Tyagaraja chose God, Lord Rama and his devotion rather than worldly prosperity. So you can see many examples who, even Lord Buddha, he renounced his kingdom, his beautiful family and children for the sake of knowing the truth. So we have to make sure that the real happiness is not in this temporary, our material achievements or family, and we need to embrace the highest. Then that is where we talked about saying where is happiness. And now today we'll be starting study guide 3, and as like the other 2 study guides, we'll start with a inspirational story followed by Swami's nectarine words about how to attain happiness. Please, Anupam, you can start the story.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. We are starting study guide 3, how to attain happiness. If you have any questions for Dr. Reddy, please put it in your Zoom chat and we'll try to address it if we have time. Inspirational story. Namasmarana leads to bliss. You should understand that body is but an instrument and the Atma is the doer and the enjoyer. Give up body attachment. What are you studying for? You want to earn money and lead a happy life. But are you getting happiness from your studies? No. After your studies, you want a lucrative job, then a promotion, and so on and so forth. There is no end to your desires. Then how can you expect to be happy? True and permanent happiness cannot be attained in the physical world. It can be experienced only in the state of Turiya, union with God. Bliss is not present in physical worldly objects. One day, Adi Shankara, along with his 13 disciples, was going to the river Ganga for a holy dip. He came across a Brahmin sitting under a tree and repeating, Dukkruno Karane, Dukkruno Karane. Shankara asked him what he would gain by repeating the rudiments of grammar. The Brahmin replied that he would become a great scholar, join the royal court and earn money. Then Shankara questioned him as to how long the wealth would ensure him happiness. The Brahmin said he could lead a happy life till his death. Then Shankara asked him what would happen after death. The Brahmin replied that he did not know. Then Shankara sang the following verse, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam bhajo mudamate, samprapte sannihite kale, nahi rakshati dukrana karane. O foolish one, when the hour of death approaches, rudiments of grammar will not come to your rescue, so chant the name of God. Only God's name will protect you in all periods of time and under all circumstances. Everything in this world is like a passing cloud. Only bliss and love are permanent. Love is God, God is love. So live in love. SSSIO speaks March 4th, 2000. Should we stop here?
Yeah, first, then we'll go to the course after this.
So in this one, this is a very famous story that Swami has repeated for us, and he sang this song beautifully in his own superb voice. This is kind of a summary of what is part of life, that everybody in this world is looking for happiness, but they're looking in the wrong places. We're looking in things that have no permanence and that have no true nature, so they're passing clouds. And Swami repeatedly tells us that the way to be happy is to establish a relationship with God, and that, as Dr. Reddy said before at the beginning, can be only by inwards journey. So the whole secret is union with God, but how to do it is the question. And that is why Swami is saying Namasmarana, take refuge in God's name, and slowly the name will take over you, and then it will look after you and give you happiness. That's what I understand. Sai Ram.
Yeah, so this is very beautiful, similar to the Tyagaraja, where this person also wants to have a position in the royal court, get a good job, and then he thinks he will lead a happy life. It can relate to all of us. So when you are studying, particularly a lot of us, we migrated from India to here. First we thought we'll have a good studies here, and then good settlement, will make a better career. Then after that, then you want to, actually we can talk about myself, we came and then we make even $10,000, we're happy and all that. Then you want to, we have to go into practice, and then you make. Then you have a house, then you have children, then you want to send them to private school. Then, so it never ends. First you want to have a good education, then you want to get married. So next what is? Then you have good children. After that it doesn't end. You want the children to go to good schools, good colleges. There is nothing wrong with these desires, but it is never ending. It is like a bottomless pit. Swami said it's like adding fuel to the fire. It will never end. That's why I told you the story of even that Yayati who wanted to have eternal youth. So, but he's felt even after 1,000 years, he doesn't have the satisfaction. So it is a very clear proof you won't have satisfaction. So like we are living in an apartment, we're happy. Now we have a big house and many cars. Even your proportionately should 10 times you should go up the happiness from what it was. Instead of most of the time, either it is the same or it could even go down. So it is showing that it is not in the objects. That's why emphasis is we should convince ourselves so that we don't spend our time and energy in the pursuit of wrong things. That is what Swami said, the nice story about an old woman. She was sewing the clothes and she lost her needle in the house, somewhere it fell. Then she went out and under the lamp post she was looking. Somebody asked, "Ma, what are you looking for?" "I lost the needle, so I am looking for it." "Why are you looking? Where did you lose?" "I lost in the house." "Then why are you looking here?" "Because there is a light here and it is inside dark." So it is looking in the wrong place. Similarly, we are looking in the wrong place for happiness. So that is what Swami said. And coming back to this Bhaja Govindam, this is a beautiful composition. Swami, please, I would advise all of you to go 1973. In summer showers, Swami give a series of divine discourses expounding on each of these beautiful shlokas, because there are 33 Bhaja Govindam shlokas, which is beautiful. Actually, one famous singer, Bharataratna, M.S. Subbulakshmi, that also you can hear, she sang all these Bhaja Govindam shlokas. This is for ordinary people who cannot read Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Gitas. In an ordinary, simple way, it gives the highest knowledge of the Vedanta. That is beauty of this Bhaja Govindam. And Swami actually, these Sanskrit shlokas, Swami made it Telugu and also sang. I know some of you may not know Telugu, so I won't bother you, but this is a beautiful message. Like last time I was telling last week or week before, he says, Nandati Brahma Yogaratova Bhogaratova Sangaratova Sangavihinaha Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam Nandati Nandati Nandatyeva. To be happy, you should be in the state of always thinking of Brahman. And also we talked about Brahman. Everything is Brahman, all is Brahman. Stars are Brahman, mother is Brahman, Brahman is Brahman. So the one who dwells in the state of Brahman is always happy. That is what he says. But here in this Bhaja Govindam, I will tell you beautifully, he says, why we are not happy, able to do that. He says, it is nicely, Balastavat Krida Saktaha. When we are a little kid, we want to play games with our playmates and have. Balastavat Krida Saktaha. You are always spending time in little sports, games, playing with your friends. Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta. Then you become a young man, youth, or a young lady. Then you are interested to find a partner. Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta. Vruddhastavat Chinta. Then we become old. After a while, middle age, then become old. Then what happened? Chinta Sakta. Then worry about body aches, sickness, old age, disease, and whatever is problems with your children or grandchildren. Some people extend their problems to even grandchildren. Swami said, stop with your children, you finish the duties, but our attachment is so much, you extend your problem even to grandchildren. Actually, I remember one great devotee by name Gopal Rao. So his granddaughter was getting married in Hyderabad. He was in Prashanti. He wanted to go there. So what is it? Swami, I want to go to the wedding of Manamaralu. We use in Telugu, So as Manamaralu, he says stones. Why do you want to still your old man? Why do you get attached to your Ralu, all the stones of that? So just we extend our attachment, never ends. So just you need to cut off. That is why we are not able to enjoy. Balastavat Krida Saktaha, Tarunastavat Taruni Saktaha, Vruddhastavat Chinta Saktaha, Parame Brahmani Koapina Sakta. Nobody is interested in Brahman. If you want to be happy, Nandati Nandatyeva, how? Only when you are in tune with God. But you are spending your young days in play and then youthful in finding sense pleasures and old age in brooding about the past. So where is the time? Then he says the problem is This Asha is the one. Angangalitam palitam mundam dashana vihinam jatum tundam ruddheyena gruhitva dandam tadapina munjati asha pindam. He says your skin is wrinkled, your muscles are weak, and your hair is grey, and you are lost teeth, and you are wearing dentures, you can't walk, you are wearing a stake. All these things had happened, then you are going down the hill. Tadapina munjati asha pindam, this Krishna, this desire, this thing to go after, doesn't die. So you need to analyze that, why it is done, because our mind is attached to the thing. And another one I will tell you also, the obstacle like this Tyagaraja, and this one example how they conquered. Problem, as I said, we always go after money in these days. Like Swami Vivekananda, when he said, I trust in God in our dollar bill, it says, yeah, I know dollar bill is your God, because that is the God for you. So you believe that is the God for you. So money, that Swami says, as the earth goes round this sun, similarly man from dawn to dusk goes around money. We can see that all the people, we are lucky that we have this satsang. A lot of people in the world, at least they heard, they talk about that's all, that's investment, this, that, their mind is all only money, money, money. Whereas Swami says love, love, love. That is why here also Adi Shankara says beautiful. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. Nastita tassuka lesat satyam. Putradapi dana bhajam biti sarvatraisha vihitariti. I will translate. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. Always remember, mind, the money is a source of trouble. Swami says that money makes many evils. He gave the example of a shoe. If it is too tight, it will cause pain. If it is too big, you will fall down. So artham anartham bhava, always remember it. So one is earning is a hard thing. You have to put so many hours to make money. Then after that, saving is another problem. After saving, what will happen? Who will take? You will misuse your family will misuse it. Taxes, the government will take it away. Something. So any other things. So this is always a source of trouble. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. Nastita tasukha leshas satyam. Even there is not a iota of happiness in this. He's clearly telling like a law. Nastita tasukha leshas satyam. This is a formula. Putradapi dana bhajam biti. Even they have to be scared of children, because when is this old man going to die, then we can have this inheritance. Sometimes a lot of good children are there, but some children, putradapi, even those days itself, Adi Shankara said that means this is not a new thing. It has been happening. Putradapi dana bhajam biti sarvatraisha vihita. This is the way of the world. So be careful. Don't put your treasure heart in the wrong place. Put your heart in God, who is our eternal companion and our friend. So this is the beauty of this Bhajagovindam, and Swami gave a series of talks. I would advise, go to 1973 summer showers. Actually, Swami liked it so much, he had the students of the university enact a drama on Bhajagovindam in Bombay, now called Mumbai, in Shanmukhananda Hall. So Swami himself guided them how to do. So the solution for happiness here he talks about is Bhaja Govindam. Remember God's name, that will give us bliss. So that is about that story. You can read next, go to the quotes. Attain happiness through love.
So next we have attain happiness through love. True happiness has no limits. How can it be attained? It cannot be attained from outside. It originates from the heart. The heart is the dwelling place of God. To experience true happiness, man should develop firm faith in God. Where there is faith, there is love. Only when man has love in him can he practice righteousness. Righteousness leads to truth, which in turn leads to God. Sathya speaks April 13th, 2002. The more you develop love, the more you experience happiness, and the closer you go to our ultimate bliss. March 4th, 2000. Experience the bliss of the divine at all times. That is true humanness, which manifests itself when you think of God. Happiness is union with God. How much bliss can you experience if you see God in yourself and in everybody? Let all differences cease. Recognizing the divinity that is present in all, you should foster the principle of love and develop compassion in the heart. Love is God. It transcends all human relationships based on attachment. Develop divine and selfless love which is enduring and infinite. A true lover of God will experience no sorrow. March 28, 1996. Lead your life with love and enjoy peace and happiness. You should strive for the happiness of not merely yourself, your friends and relatives, but for the welfare of all. Strive to make everyone happy with the constant prayer, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the people of the world be happy. Then you will certainly experience true peace and bliss. Those who help others will always be helped in turn. They will never be put to harm. April 14th, 2003. So here Swami is giving us the answer to the question which is the subject of our study guide, how to attain happiness. He's saying that happiness can be attained only through love, because love is the undercurrent for all the human values. Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa. These are the 5 human values Swami wants us to practice. First learn, then practice, and then make it our own. And out of these 5, Prema, love, is the one that is the underlying strength for everything else. Everything else comes from it. He's again reiterating that happiness is union with God and love is God. So if we are established in love, then we are automatically connected to God, and then we become happy and we can attain happiness. Sairam.
Sairam. Yeah, so the whole answer is love for God. That is why he says, Swami said, God is love, love is God, live in love. Anbe Shivam, right? Shive Anbam. So that love is God. So we should live in love, then you be one with love. But we talked about what divine love, what worldly love. I think all of you should be experts now what is divine love versus what is worldly love, which is worldly is conditional and selfish and temporary and ever-changing, whereas divine love is unconditional, eternal, and beyond the constraints of time, space, and causation. So that is why we should have, that is the love we should develop. For that, as we said, you don't need to know the grammar like that guy going, dugring karane. It won't take you. So what takes is real pure heart. That is why you need to develop. Once you know you are true lover of God, you won't have any more sorrow. That is what he was telling. There is a beautiful temple of Shiva in Srikalahasti. This is one of the beautiful Shiva temple. The name Srikalahasti means Sri is spider, Kala is a snake, and Hasti is elephant. The town is named because these 3 are the greatest devotees of Lord Shiva. So the town is named after them. And that is why one beautiful poet writes, Ye Vedambu Patinchaluta Bhujagambe Shastramul Sucha. He says, what kind of Shastras did this snake read, and what kind of things did this elephant know, the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras? What all is important is Ni Padambuja Padayugala Bhakti. So you should have the devotion, love for your lotus feet. That is what is the most important. Even that Kannappa, the tribal man who did not know anything, who became the greatest devotee of God, is one of the 9 marks who is adored and respected by all, because what is important is pure love for God. That is the highest gift than anything else. So that is what takes us to happiness.
So we are starting Attain Happiness by chanting the Lord's name. This is the philosophy that everyone should learn today. The tongue should utter the divine name. The ear should rejoice in hearing the divine. The eyes should enjoy the divine form. The heart should be filled with the love for the Lord. Strive sincerely to harvest this divine joy. The believer should try to plant today the seed of Lord's name in a well-prepared heart, devoid of the thorns of egoism, and water it with love, fence the sprout with faith, feed it with the fertilizer of remembrance of the name, and from the grown-up tree of the mantra, pluck the fruit of bliss and relish the sweetness. Sathya Sai speaks, July 27, 1961. Supposing you go up a hill and sing the glory of God, the divine vibrations will reach a large area, and the people hearing the Namasvarana, even from a distance, will feel very happy. Divine music can confer solace even to children and animals. By hearing Namasankirtan, even the heart of a stone-hearted person will melt. We have heard of several instances in Indian history where great devotees of God, by their Namasankirtan, could bring about complete transformation in die-hard criminals. Sathya Sai speaks, August 23, 2004. Sing the glory of God wholeheartedly without any inhibition. Only then you can experience the divine bliss. Begin this sacred Namasvarana right from this moment. Sathya Sai speaks, April 14, 2002. Next section. Happiness in daily life. Man yearns for happiness in every act, in every kind of experience. He pines for happiness. All his actions are aimed at deriving happiness. Whatever he does, business or work in an office, his aim is to derive happiness. But does he find it? No. It is a temporary phase only, as it is worldly happiness. He may be happy for a while, but permanent happiness is attained only by contemplation on God. So contemplate on the divine. Sathya Sai speaks, April 26, 1999. Make God the foundation of your life. Carry on your normal duties. Duty is God. Work is worship. Spiritualize all your actions and treat whatever happens as actions for your own good. Learn to experience perennial bliss by seeking union with God. Never forget God. Do not go after the things of the world. Have no fear of death. When your life is rooted in these three maxims, you will realize the Atman, self. Sathya Sai speaks, October 9, 1997. If you want real lasting happiness, you can get it only by union with God. God is all-pervasive. Why should you search for God while He is within you? Body is like a water bubble and mind is like a mad monkey. Don't follow them. You should follow only your conscience, which is Sathya, the principle of truth. If you have an unpolluted heart and engage in unblemished action, you will experience the manifestation of God. Sathya Sai speaks, July 18, 1997. Whatever you do, do it with dedication, Shraddha. The secret of happiness is not doing what you like, but liking what you do. Every act must be suffused with love. If you say, I can do only those acts with love that I like to do, that is the wrong approach. Whatever you do, infuse it with interest and love. See all work as spiritual exercise, as an offering. Then work is transformed into worship. Summer showers in Vrindavan, May 20th, 1991. If you want to attain happiness, you should understand that happiness is union with God. Every human being imagines that happiness is somewhere outside him and strives to attain it through various activities. How did the ancient sages adore God? They worshipped Him with the flower of sacrifice and offered their love to Him. They welcomed God as the embodiment of truth. They believed in love, kindness, and oneness. They offered Him the throne of their hearts. Only through such sublime adoration they attained divinity. Therefore, even today's man ought to install God in the altar of his heart and adore Him there. Sathya Speaks, November 23, 2001. So that is the end of the section on how to attain happiness. So we covered two main topics here. The first question is, as Dr. Reddy mentioned, how to attain happiness or how to be happy. So Swami is giving us simple formulas here. The first one he said was love. The second one he said by chanting the Lord's name. And the third one is to think of every act of work as worship. Work is worship. So these are very simple formulas, but it is very hard for us to follow. And the reason is that we are more attracted towards worldly things. So again, Swami gave us very simple formulas. He said that the heart is a one-seater, not a two-seater. So if you have worldly things in your heart, you cannot sort of ride two horses at the same time, have God and world both together. So you have to give priorities. And he says that the simple thing to do, this is why we do bhajans in the Sai centers and we do Nagar Sankirtans in Puttaparthi and in other places, is because the mind goes towards God. And God is happiness, so it connects with our inner nature, which is happiness. He has repeatedly said that if you take your mind towards God, then everything will come to you. And the most that we do, everything that we do in the world, we do for being happy. There are only two objectives in our daily existence, is peace and happiness. But we are seeking it in different places. Swami is advising us here in the second section that if we see God in everything we do, and he gives a simple formula, see good, do good, be good. That is the way to God. See everything as God and that you are doing God's work and offer the results to him. Then you'll get God in your heart, and that is the simple way to be happy. So those are the two major concepts, I thought. Sairam.
Yeah, Sairam. So yeah, these three things we are talking about here, I would say they're all interconnected. Having divine love, and then repeating God's name, and dedicating all our actions, spiritualizing our every day of our life, and with faith. So this is very important concept. You should not compartmentalize. Regarding divine love, we always talk about divine love, and we saw the example of Tyagaraja, we talk of the example of Mirabai and Buddha. First is we need to have priority for God in life. That is very important. So first God, Sai first. We all talk about Sai, the acronym. Yes, Swami first. In whatever we do, are we giving importance to Swami? So like for example, this Thursday evening, so most of the things you leave and come, your priority is thinking about Swami. Swami first, Sai first. Then all others next. Then finally that little I, the ego last. So that is the priority, we should have clarity. That is why Swami they gave the example of Pandavas, for people know in Mahabharata. So they were, at the end, they attained the highest because they gave the highest priority to Lord Krishna in their life. Whatever trouble, they went through many troubles, difficulties, but still Mother Kunti, she prayed, Lord, give me more difficulties if you can make, I can think about you more. So she didn't worry about what is the thing. Most of us in life, we pray to God is for us. We live life so that God helps us. But we should be the other way around. Our life should be for God. In general, most of the people, God is for our life to help us sickness, in family problems, getting jobs. So God, use it for your life. But we should be the other way around. If you're really a devotee, life should be for God. For that, so the priority we should have is for God. So that is why Swami was talking about Pandavas. Whereas Kauravas, who had such a bad end, all were eliminated, and they lost their kingdom, they all died because they gave priority to first their power, position, ego, and then they gave importance. Next is others, their family members. Last importance is to God. They never listened to the words of Lord Krishna. Actually, one of the students was sharing, one time Swami was looking at the drama which is being played. Suddenly he went into trance. Em chesedi ravadu venaledu. That means what can I do? That Duryodhana, he didn't listen to me because he went there in a thing and he didn't listen. Swami suddenly he was showing that he's the same Krishna. So people don't listen. So just Lord has given the thing. So for us to develop this divine love, so we talked about, so first we need to have the priority to Swami. Second is intensity. So like that, we can't have Swami says part-time devotee and full-time benefits. You can't have just 2 hours in Thursday evening and the rest of the time you forget, you do something else. So always sarvada, sarvatra, sarvakaleshu harichintanam. Swami says always, every moment, every second, oh my God, another time is gone, another time waste is life waste. Time is God, Swami said. My God, time is gone. So I'm walking towards everyone. The time you are born, even though you may be 2 years old, you have time-specific lifespan. You are walking towards death only. There is nobody. On the minute you are born, whether you are a plant, an animal, or human, you are walking towards the grave. So, but you never know when that Yama will come there. So, best to sanctify every moment with the thought of God. That is why we should have that intensity. Oh, how I can. You should have that hunger. That is why one of the Swami said, Tivra paritapam, intense longing for God. That is what we should have. That is really a sign of divine love. And second thing is one-pointedness. Third thing is one-pointedness. So like today you think about this form of God, that today something else, this is today this guru, tomorrow another guru, tomorrow this, so just fix one-pointedness. That is why Lord Krishna says in Gita, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekehe kurunandana. Oh Kurunandana Arjuna, the cultured mind is one-pointed. It always think about that only. It doesn't go here, there. Others is called scattered brain. If you think into too many things, your scattered brain, you won't achieve anything. Because all these things we read right now, they are pearls of wisdom. That is why Jesus, don't throw these pearls before swine. So you need to really understand and really take best benefit out of that. So that is what really divine love is. And that love, once we understand, we'll always, there is no question of any more fear, anxiety, because you are living bliss. That is why we call love is the source, love is the path, and love is the goal. For that, one of the easiest thing to do is repetition of the name. Nama Ruchi, you need to develop the taste for God. That is why these people, Tyagaraja, he wrote Rama Koti, Rama's name, more than crore times. So just repeating the name of God, you can really attain the highest. Like in Prashant Nilayam, people who do the Sai Ram, same thing, Sai Ram, they go on writing. So when Swami established those Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita statues in front of the Gopuram, there underneath, Swami put a chakram, and also all these books where people wrote Sai Ram, they put underneath, because that is the power of the name. So name, that is why when God, as we say, is nirguna nirakara. God is beyond attributes and beyond form. But so that we cannot understand God beyond form and name, because we have body consciousness. So to make us enjoy this divine love, divine romance, God comes with this sweet name, Sai Ram, Rama, Krishna, Yesu, Buddha. All these sweet names, just by repetition, thinking about it, once you develop the taste, Namaruchi, you are happy. So first is God, when he comes in human form, he comes with a beautiful, sweet name. Second is divine, beautiful, enchanting form. We saw the darshan. Why do you want to say so many times? Because God is not only Sanatana, he is eternal, but he is also Nitya Nutana, he is ever new. The more you see him in the morning, you want to see in the afternoon, you want to see in the evening. You run, people, we all learn, if you are darshan, people say, oh, are you crazy, why do you want to see again? Once you have that attraction to the God, you don't understand how we are pulled by towards a magnet, divine magnet he is, and we are the little iron particles, we are pulled. So second, when God comes, is beautiful, enchanting, divine form. And third is leelas, divine sports. That is why Swami was talking about, think about, when you think about, listen to his name, think about his form, his divine sport, leelas. That is why Bhagavatam, what he was advised to read. So just reading Bhagavatam, like that we have Sai Bhagavatam, Swami's divine sports. In many books we have. So just Leelas. And most important, finally, lie Swami's Bodha, such teachings. So these are the four major gifts when God comes in human form. His name, his form, beautiful form, and his Leelas divine, and his Bodhas. In the name, as we talked about, there's any name is Swami says, he doesn't say only chant Rama, or only Krishna, or only Sai Rama. But for me, for us, Om Shri Sai Ram is the essence of all names, like Namah Shiva say, because Om itself is Pranava mantra. That itself, like Mandukya Upanishad, then Taittiriya Upanishad, just chanting Pranava itself, you will attain liberation. Nothing else, just Om. And then Shri, next one, Shri is a Bija mantra, it's called seed mantra, just that is so powerful, it gives auspiciousness, it gives wealth, it gives not only material things, but highest, the supreme liberation itself. And then Sai Ram, Sai. Sai is mother, divine mother, like we chanted the last few holy Navaratri, we chanted and worshipped mother as Mother Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati. So Sai is our divine mother. And then Ram. Ram is the combination of both mantras. That is why even a Vishnu Sahasranama, after chanting, he says, the Mother Parvati asks, what is Rama? He says, it is equivalent to chanting 1,000 names of Vishnu. Sahasranama Tatulyam Ramanama Varanane. It is equivalent to chanting 1,000 names. That is the power of Rama. Why? Rama is composed by itself two Bija mantras. Ra is from mantra Namo Narayanaya. Ra is the second letter of Narayana. Om Namo Narayana, Panchakshari mantra, which is powerful, which is very holy and very dear to the Vaishnava tradition people. And Ma, second letter Ma, is second letter of Panchakshari mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. So both for this Namah Shivaya and this Namo Narayanaya, so that is Ashtachari mantra and Panchakshari mantra combination. Second letter is Ra for Narayanaya, here Ma for Namah Shivaya. That is why once you chant Rama, it is equivalent to chanting both the Narayana mantra and Shiva mantra. And that is also part of Swami's name, Om Sri Sai Ram. So that is the power. So once you need to develop the taste and how to chant also Japam, Swami said that you can do it with the help of the rosary. You can say it aloud, Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai Ram. That is called Vachaka Japa. Then you don't need even, people won't even know. You will be telling. That's Upamsu Japa. Lips only will be moving. You won't even other people. Some, that is next higher says, everything is 100 times more powerful. Say loud, that is one powerful. Upamsu Japa is 100 times more powerful. Then Upamsu Japa, then it goes to Manasika Japa. Just nobody even knows. You will be talking, looking at somebody, but you will be chanting inside. It will go on saying Om Sri Sai Ram, Om Sri Sai Ram. It goes on chanting all the time. That is Manasika Japa, even 100 times more powerful. Then you go on doing that, you go to the level of Ajapa Japa. That means all without your knowledge, where you are eating, drinking, walking, sleeping, dreaming, every time always that goes on. That is called, then you become what is called Japa Siddha, Mantra Siddha. You will become automatically. That is what Hanuman, when the time of coronation, when he was given that pearl necklace, he bought it, said there is no name. Then somebody said, do you have it? He showed, you see, take a hair of him, my every hair chants the name of Rama. That means just a beautiful story to say that how every cell of his is saturated with the divine name. That is the name, power of the divine name. That is why Tulsidas says, we talked about before, when you repeat the name, it is like putting the lamp at the door sill. So when you do that, it lights both inside and out. That is why Swami said, when you chant this, do the Nagar Sankirtan Bhajan, it sanctifies all the places. in your house, outside, the environment, everything. That is why the emphasis is given to Nagar Sankirtan and Samuhika Kirtan, Bhajan, Sankirtan we call that. So that is why power of this name, we should take it seriously, use whether do it or instead of doing japa, you can sing the Namavali. When we see bhajans, that is also Nama Sankirtana. Somehow or other, repetition of the name of the God. So Swami sang many songs. So Pebare Ramarasam, he sings that bhajan. That means drink the essence, nectar of Rama's name. Then it is essence, Sakala Nigamagama Saram. It is the essence of all Vedas and everything. So it takes you across the ocean. That is the power of the name. Just chanting the name itself, there are great people who have attained highest. Like I said, Tyagaraja, Mirabai, and many saints. It is there in all traditions, Christian and Judaism and Islam and all that, because that shows the power of the name of God. Because there is no difference. They say Nama and Nami, both are same. Once you call the name, automatically the form happens. Nami and Nema. So and also form disappears. Like Swami was there with us only 1926 to 2011. So it's gone after the form. But his name is ever. So all the time, same thing, Rama, Krishna, Jesus, they were there. The physical form will be only for so many years. But their name is eternal. That is why the importance is given to the name. So let us remember divine love and name.